All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel, and we're going to do it again. We're going to look at a commercial that I shot. We're going to start with the storyboards, then we're going to go through the locations, then we're going to look at some photo boards from the Tech Scout, and then we're going to go on set and we're going to show you exactly how we did it. What is the point of doing all this? Well, this is how jobs work in the real world. If you want to know what a cinematographer does, yes, you have to know how to light things. You have to know how to make things look nice, but that's just a very small portion of the job, right? That's the fun bit of the job. The rest of the bit is how do I set myself up for success before I even get there, right? That's what we want to do. We want to eliminate things that are going to give us hard times. We want to make sure that everybody in the team knows exactly what they have to do when they get there to maximize the resources that we have exposure to. All we have is the people that are in the crew, the locations, the amount of time that we have on the day. That's all we have to work with. We want to maximize the juice from the squeeze itself. That's what we're doing. And also, on this channel, it's fun to look at stuff that I have shot as opposed to guessing what other people have shot. Now, I will give a brief warning here. I shot this ad so long ago, and I've shot so many ads in between, I have no idea how this thing was actually lit. I'm going to guess what I would have said to the gaffer. Also know that the gaffer had their own style, and everybody else had their own solutions. The grips had their own solutions. The ACs had their own solutions. You're just there, sort of sitting just next to all those individuals going, man, I hope this thing turns out halfway decent, because if it doesn't, well, they're not going to fire me on this job. I just won't get the next one. And that's a bummer, because what am I going to do? Make YouTube videos for the rest of my life? Come on. Okay, so we're going to break this up into a series of different videos because they just get too long. Like, I can't talk for that long about these projects. We're going to break them up into small little chunks. If you like this kind of content, say you want to see, I don't know, instead of this one commercial, say you want to see how I've done 100 other commercials. Where's the best spot to do that? Patreon, in the link in the description below. That's what gives me the time to do all of these things. If I wasn't doing that, I don't know, I'd have to be doing something else. But if you like this kind of content, you want access to the Discord channel where there's other people just like you who probably have no idea what they're doing. And then gradually they learn, and then they can share that knowledge with other people. That's the spot to do it. Patreon, link in the description below. Okay, let's go. So what are we going to start out with? Well, we're going to start out with the same information that I start out with on any job. This is a job we have looked at a snippet or a commercial from this series of shoots before on the channel. And the challenging bit, which is happening all around the commercial space, is that we're trying to do more and more jobs in less and less time. So for this particular series of commercials, I think we shot 6 ads over 2 days. So that's 3 ads per day. You're looking at a schedule of around 3 hours that you have to capture this scene. That is the challenging bit. Luckily for us, at least we were shooting with 2 cameras. We're shooting in one location, which means we're not moving around, which saves us a huge amount of time, right? If you have to location move, you can write off multiple hours in the day to do that. But it still means we're going to be under the pump. So what does that mean? Just first off, right off the bat, if I hear 6 commercials in 2 days, I know that I might be able to light the wide. Maybe I can get in there at pre-light and I can light for the wide. But then as we move in, you're just not going to have time to finesse everything. So we're going to have to go with big, broad strokes, and we're going to have to make things work. And that's the idea. So that's the information that I have before we get the boards. These are the boards from the director. I've talked about it in the past, but if you have a director who is not great, you're in trouble. You're in serious, serious trouble. Why? Because they do all of this stuff and then they sell all this stuff to the agency. And if it's no good, you're not going to be able to overcome 12 bad shots. Okay, 1 or 2 in here where you're like, oh, that's iffy. Maybe you can steer the director into saying, well, maybe we don't need that shot, or we can do something else, or we can do it from another angle. But if you've got 12, you're in trouble. Okay, you need someone that has at least somewhat of a photographic mind. That's not to say all directors don't have that. It's not a necessary skill. It just makes your job as the cinematographer significantly easier. Other tricky thing with this ad is that we are doing, in this very room where we're going to be shooting this ad, we're doing 3 of the different ads in this room. We're doing 1 nighttime look, which is what we're looking at in this video, and we're doing 2 day looks. So we're going to get a lot out of this real estate, which means it's probably not going to be the best for all 3 commercials. But can we make it work for all 3 ads? That is the question. So we're going to look at this ad. We've got brother and sister. They are taking a selfie as they go for a night on the town. Sister and brother, they're looking at the selfie. Brother goes to grab the keys from the counter. He grabs the keys in a close-up shot. Mom over here and dad over here, they're watching this ensue. There's brother Hopefully he's not having a few drinks before he even drives. But they're going out for a night on a town. This is sort of the POV from the parents. And then you got dad stand up to deliver a message as these two are getting ready, right? He's checking himself out in the mirror. Sister is sending a text message. Then we go close up on dad as we reveal that he has information that the children do not have, right? And that information is that there's going to be a terrible accident and they're not going to come home, no matter how happy they are. I already switched the pen. Let's fix that. So they exit, and then we still have this same close-up on dad, and then we put in some super over the top of it in a big, wide exit. Immediately, what is the first thing that I am doing? The first thing that I'm doing, I want to know what kind of scene that we are shooting. There's only 5 scenes that you have to worry about. There's only 5 scenes that you have to know. Because as soon as you know what kind of scene it is out of those 5, you know the different decision trees or the options that are available to you for lighting. Okay, so in this particular example, we're looking for the main part of the shot. The main part of the shot is the interaction between the characters. Where does that happen? Well, we've got brother and sister sort of on the same line. So we're just looking straight at them with the camera. Okay, that's one group of people. Then we've got father and mother sitting on the sofa. Mother doesn't really play a part in this ad, so we can forget her. So really it's dad and children. Dad stands up, kids are getting ready, dad's looking at the children. Okay, so if we were, let's draw this out. Draw the location out here, okay? If we've got a square room here, we've got children over here, we've got mom and dad on the sofa, and then we've got a door over here that the children are going to exit out of. So the line here is going to be dad stands up and he's looking in this direction. Children looking in this direction. Now, if you know what the 5 scenes are, right? The 5 scenes: bar scene, office, dining room table, vehicle, other. I have hours of courses just on those 5 scenes. Now, why is it important that you know those 5 scenes? Well, as soon as we determine that we've got, let's just, for simplicity's sake, let's boil this down to, this is the children, just one unit, and this is the father, right? They're going to be looking at each other. When you have 2 groups looking directly at each other, that is an office scene, okay? Office scene. There's only 2 ways to light an office scene. I know that. There's only 2 ways, right? And the reason that I know that is I've done the work ahead of time to understand what the office scene is and to see where I can fit in all the lights. I know that I like to be on the shadow side, which means I want, in this case, I want to either the light coming this direction or the light coming this direction, and I want to be on the opposite side of that light. That determines the line that I need. That determines where the camera is going to go, and then where the lighting is going to come from. So what we have here is an office scene. The quicker you can figure that out, the quicker you can determine where you're going to cover from, which is then determines where you're going to light from, which then gives you the options for the different looks that you have. Okay, that's the most important part about looking at these boards, is going like, okay, how are we going to actually cover this? Not how are we going to cover it in how it's covered in the boards, right? Because this is just an idea. This is, I don't know, like a best guess without talking to anyone else. This is just the director putting this stuff down, going like, okay, this is probably going to work for the edit. These are the types of shots that I need, the sizes that I need. These are not like set in stone because there hasn't been any collaboration yet. There hasn't been any actually being on set with the talent and saying, maybe I wouldn't stand there, or maybe I wouldn't stand there. So there's a lot of flexibility in here. We just need to determine for us, the big things are going into the tech scout or going into the first conversations with the director is, what is the main part of the scene? What's the main part of the ad? And that main part, I would say, is the get up here and the interaction between them here at this stage, right? Because this is the office. This determines the scene. So this is the main thing that we need to figure out, where this stand-up is going to take place, where these kids are going to be inside of the location, and then this push-in that's going to happen here. Okay, so 12 shots, and we are looking. Let's determine the degrees that we are looking, because then that's also going to dictate how long this thing is going to take to set up. Like the lighting-wise, how much do we have to account for, and how much time is that going to take? Because if we've only got 3 hours to do 12 shots, if we have to light, let's see, we come over here. Again, let's go back to our drawing. And children over here, parents over here on the sofa. Okay, we have to see this way in the wide shot. So that's looking this way. Okay, and let's say, what is that? Let's say that's 90 degrees. We got to see this way. Now, when we look back at the dad, as he comes here to stand up, to look this way, it appears as though, if we go here, whoops, this shot over here, let's just go over there. This shot over here, and this shot over here, we're looking the exact opposite direction of this way. That means when we come back here, back to our setup, dad standing here, we have to look this way. So we're seeing all of this room. So that tells the production designer, it tells the lighting team, it tells me that we have to account for that angle and this angle. That's almost, let's call it 270 degrees. That's how much we have to account for the room. Now that's a big, big setup. It's a lot of space. We're going to need a location that is going to allow us the flexibility, not only to be shooting 2 cameras at the same time, because we're not shooting in a studio, so to give us enough room set back that we can actually get those cameras in there, but also lighting wise at night, right? This is a night interior. And what we want with a night interior is we want shape. And how do you get shape? You have to create pools of light. And that's already telling me, okay, location wise, what do I need to be looking for? I need walls that are going to suck up the light if I'm going to create pools of light, because I know I'm only going to get one opportunity to light each direction. I've got 2 directions to do. The flop and the original setup of the lighting, let's say that takes 30 minutes a piece on either side. So 30 minutes for the initial setup, 30 minutes for the flop. That's an hour into my 2 hours of shooting. This is a serious problem. Not accounting for performance or for alt lines or anything. It's already getting really, really tricky. So I need the location to do a lot of heavy lifting. I know to create pools at nighttime, I'm going to want to use Prax. Okay, I'm on location. Am I going to be able to light from above? Is it a low ceiling? Is it a high ceiling? Is it something where we can get a boom kit in? If not, can we get wall busters in? Can we just attach lamps to the actual top? I need shape. I need walls that are going to suck up all of the level. And then I need something that's going to be very quick to turn around. On a night exterior, I know that I'm not going to be lighting from the outside. If I'm not lighting from the outside, that means that I need to have Prax on the ground that can fake where I'm actually going to be pushing level from. So now I need space either side of these shots. I need enough space to be able to fit in the actual equipment, fit in the lighting instruments. So we've got 270 degrees of lighting. We've got nighttime interior. We've also got this shot. Like immediately I'm thinking here, I need to ask about this. I need to ask if this is the angle that we're going to choose, because if you know anything about interior shots on location, there is nothing more difficult than someone opening a door to the exterior environment, because then we have to balance what's inside versus what's outside. This is a challenge because we don't want something just flat, right? If it's nighttime and you just have flat black outside the window, that's going to be a bummer. We don't want flat. We want depth. And the way that you create depth is through lighting, and lighting takes time, okay? So initial look at the boards is, it's not undoable. It's just going to be a challenge because we have such a wide area to cover. And if I want to do pools of light, I need really dark walls so that we don't see all of the ambient spill. The other thing that I automatically know, which is counterintuitive to what most people would think or the way that most people might approach it, is that because it's a nighttime interior, you might think, oh, I'm going to go higher ISO. So I'm going to need less level. I'm going to use the sensitivity of the camera. We were shooting this on 2 Alexa Mini LFs, which you can ride up to 1600 to 2000 ISO pretty easily and not see any of it. So maybe you're going to push the ISO so we don't need that much level in here. That's the opposite way that I think about it, because if you don't push a lot of light into a space, what ends up happening is you get bleed everywhere because you're working at such low foot candle levels. And if you're working at low foot candle levels, just a tiny bit of ambient from anywhere, from any leak, from a camera battery, from anything, can just light up an entire corner. So I'm thinking there's not really an exposure challenge. Let's see, in the widest shot, like let's say this one. So this has 2 exterior windows plus a door in the background. Okay. If we have 2 exterior windows and a door in the background, I'm not really fighting anything. There's nothing, the point of control in this space is going to be me. So I get to set it to whatever level I want. And I'm going to set it much, much higher. I'm going to push lots of foot candles in here so that I can separate the values from the bouncing on the wall to whatever I put outside those windows. I know I'm probably going to want shears. I know I'm probably going to want curtains, again, to create as much depth as I can. These are the things that I'm thinking about before I've even seen the location, before I've seen anything. And I know that realistically, so we've got an iPhone shot, we've got this 2 shot, which can be done the same time. So shot 2 and 6 are essentially the same shot. 8 can be done the same time as 6 and 2. And probably 3 is also a B camera shot. So that's 4 out of the 12. A third of the shots are all the same take. Okay, that's pretty easy. This insert, that's a shot on its own. That can be done fairly quickly. I can probably do this with 1 camera and then get the stand up. And because this is a dolly shot, this is a push in, same line. So this shot, these 3 are probably the A camera and this is the B camera. So really, already, it's only, this is 1 setup. This is another setup. That one's set up as well. So that's 2 setups. The insert and the exit is probably 1, right? Because this is A camera, this is B camera, just off to the side here. You can imagine B camera on just on a longer lens getting that shot. So that's 3, and then the iPhone shot 4. Okay, so now we're down to 4 setups. That's much more manageable. Okay, 4 is good. Problem is, we have to be quite wide. We got to be really wide for this one. And we're going to see the entire room, basically. That's what we're saying. In shot 7, 8, and 12, we're going to see the whole room. Please let the location be good. Please, let's make this easy. On myself, on the team, can we get something with a little bit of shape? That is the question we are going to answer in the next video. So if you like this kind of content, again, over on Patreon, that's the place to support the channel. And in the next video, I am going to walk through the location photos, the initial location photos, so you can see where are the pros, where are the cons, what are the things we have to look out for. And this is going to help shape what we can actually do on set. Okay, this is, again, first email. First, exposure to this ad. You've already answered what kind of scene it is, what side of the line we want to be on, and what are going to be the complications. If we've got 12 shots and 4 setups, now we can already start to get the timing down so we can be as prepared as possible to look at the location photos. All right, so that's going to do it. Many thanks, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.